Morning, welcome back to the shop. Today we're actually going to be making a pretty much a kendo stick for my boy, and he is actually going to be out here helping us today. So this is my boy Robby. You'll see him throughout the video today, and hope you like it. Enjoy. That's it. So once again, start off, but line it up. You don't really want to push down too much because gravity will kind of do that for you since we're just rounding this end off. But just take it and
so
then
we're making this part
run
round
it.
the
Yep.
handle. Okay.
But you just take it, run it down, and it'll take off. Since you're doing it on that point, it'll take it off a little bit at a time, but it'll take off a little bit more of a shaving each time you do it. So then we'll do this, do the top part just down a little bit, then you'll just move down to this side, kind of line it up there, and then run it down and try and hold it at the same angle, and we're just going to kind of round it off.
Okay. Where does this blade start?
You can look down through there.
Oh yeah.
Remember what I said about holding it at an angle? You didn't have to worry about that. It'd take care of it next time you ran over it. But instead of lining it up straight like that, hold it like that, and then start right there, and then when you pull, just keep it at pretty much that same angle. And this blade here, normally on a plane, you can actually angle this blade, which helps you do that. But on this one, you can't. I mean, it's in there straight, and that's the only way it's going to go. And I'm not taking a damn grinder to it to put an angle on it, because then I would also have the problem of it sticks down on one side and not the other. Try and keep it as level as you can when you're running it down. Turn it a little bit more of an angle. It'll help you cut it. It'll help you with the cut.
It's like here.
Yeah. Remember what the longer you can go, the smoother it's actually going to make it. So if you make it one continuous motion and then just push it off the end and bring it back and push it off the end and bring it back. See? Hey, you got the little chitter marks in there. Well, it's also because of the grain, but I mean, you can feel it with your finger. There you go. Starting off with the 80 grit. Feel how rough that one is. Alright, the coarser it is, the more it's going to take off with each swipe. But since we're rounding the whole thing off, if you take a strip and hold it on, and pull down on each side, and then pull it back and forth, it's going to round that edge over. And when you run it all the way up or all the way down, and all the way back up, you see how it was. See how it was and how it is now. You can feel the difference. And since we're making the handle here, and when you get up right next to that line, if you pull on the one side instead of the whole piece, so just move your fingers there, it'll actually work right up against that line. See how it's digging in right there next to it? But just work it back and forth and pull down and keep a good amount of pressure on it. I mean, you don't want to, be trying to pull the dang thing out of there. but just good amount of pressure on it, and then just back and forth. And you can go all the way down, work on the end of it, get the end of it rounded up, come all the way back up to the top. And I'm just shifting, you know, where I'm applying the pressure, because right there, when I get closer to the line, see how my hands lean back? And that way you can just work on it like that. And then just back and forth, and I'm switching. I'm not pulling just on the back, I'm pulling in the middle when I'm moving down. But I'm not, you know, it's not an immediate thing. I'm kind of, you know, easing into it this way and then easing back into it that way, doing all that. But just back and forth over the whole thing till you get it down. And then see how it's like, see the color of this right here? How it's darker? And then where I've hit it with sandpaper, it's lightened up. That's because it's taken off that top layer.
Okay. It's like a chip right here. It's not something I can smooth.
I know, but since we're wrapping the handle, we don't have to worry about the chips, but we still want it to be kind of smooth.
Okay.
But we're going to be wrapping the handle anyway. Good? Alrighty.
Well,
Since
right
we're
here.
wrapping,
There's a bump right here.
alright, but once again, we're going to be wrapping the handle. So is the bump really going to matter? And since we're wrapping the handle, we don't have to go through the rest of the grits. But now, since the handle's, you know, roughed in, sanded up, smooth, good, now we can work on the rest of it. Feels good right there in your hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like the back side, I'm not really going to be that worried about it, but I hate how this thing doesn't have a negative. And you can see, here, let's do it over here where the camera can see it, where you hit the edges with the sandpaper and went over the mark, and it took off the mark on those corners. So now, we get it flipped over and we'll grab hold of it by the handle. And we might have to, yeah, we're going to have to do this a section at a time. And I'll show you how we're going to get a point down there. And since we are actually going to be bending it afterwards, I don't want it to be too much of an angle, but I still want it to come to that point. So I'm just going to kind of freehand. Because if you look at the end of a katana or a kendo, it kind of makes that like almost 45-degree angle up to the point. So if we take that 45 right there up to about where the edge is, and yeah, I'm keeping it kind of rounded off, but we can take it across there, move up to our point, and matter of fact, I'll probably just I'll cut it there, and then we'll actually use the belt sander to get the majority of it done. But that should work decently well. Come on. I'll get it started and then let you kind of finish and follow along that line. Once again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to take it to the belt sander to, you know, finish everything off. But just feed it in, and all it is back and forth. Alright, so go ahead and cut that off the rest of the way. See how you're kind of bending the saw blade there? You don't want to, you were pulling up on it like that. So you just want to kind of keep it nice and straight. And just run it on through. Now, see the angle that the blade's sitting at? How it's higher in the back than it is in the front? If you turn it that way and then start cutting through.
So you want it to be equal on both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not going to be exactly equal, but all right, just take that little tip off. No, keep it at the same angle. So if you take the blade and just set it on there, let the piece help you. And we'll actually turn it over because that side bite's a little rougher. But just take it, put it on down. You want to blend it in the wood part too. How did you manage that?
I don't know.
But you can still do it. Doing it that way. Just keep your fingers up. The way you do that keeps you from walking into it. Now I'm keeping it at pretty much the same angle. But actually I want to kind of, ooh, that's real good. See if I can't actually take it to a little bit more of an angle. What do you say? A little bit more than that?
Yeah.
I mean, the angle. Yeah, that'll be good. But now I gotta keep going on that face to get it to line up with that point there. He realized I was about to make him start doing this, so he ran inside. One of the ways that you're supposed to be able to bend wood is actually taking it, putting it inside of a steam box, using the steam box to then, soak the entire wood down and get it all nice and moist and hot. And the moisture helps hold the wood and make it stronger, but it also makes it makes it more pliable. I don't have anything that I can use to steam a 4-foot long piece of wood. Actually, it's 3.5 feet long, but I don't have anything big enough for me to put this thing in and then steam it for a good little while. So the alternative that we have come up with, and we are going to see if it works, is the water trough. We'll leave it in there, soak it for a good little while, then we'll clamp it up, see if we can't get it to have a nice little curve in the inside of it. So throw it in. Yeah, we'll have to find something to weigh it down. Let's find us a rock. We tied a stick to a rock. I did not let it sit in the water long enough before I started trying to clamp it down, and with it being a rather softer wood, I think it was pine. Well, it came out of a 2x4, so more than likely it was pine. Yeah, it didn't turn out too good because that happened. So, yeah, complete structural failure right there in the middle, right where I was trying to bend it. So, back to the drawing board. Alright, dumbass forgot to turn on the camera again. So, I actually had to take my bandsaw and took me a 2x4 and figured me out a curve to cut it on the bandsaw. Then I was actually going through and trying to cut an angle on it to cut the blades and everything, and broke the blade on my bandsaw, so I had to go in and do all of that with my scroll saw, set on a 45 and all that, and trying to freehand this down through it, and then had to end up doing some of it with a handsaw and running a bunch of it through the belt sander and doing all that, and still got a bunch more cleaning up to do, but we'll see if we can't get to some of that. There's that piece of grit. There you are. And right now I'm just going through with the hand sanding and trying to get rid of a bunch of these imperfections and seeing if we can't straighten up some of this. Oh, and rolling over this edge, because right now it does come to a pretty good point. Actually turn y'all around where you can see what the hell he's doing. Try and keep the work over here on this side.
Yeah, I know.
Oh dang, I still got to cut that 45 on there for the tip. Uh-oh, low battery. We're at 10%. Will she make it?
Hopefully.
You were having more trouble with that. Here.
It's hard.
Yeah. Okay, we still have to get right there, so let's see if we can't. You didn't get right there either. You got to get that side right there too, not just the blade edge.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep it clamped. Yeah, we'll keep it clamped right here for right now, and then once you get all the rest of it down, then we'll switch it around and move it so we can get the spot right here. There you go. Remember, once you get down towards that end, keep your hand on it, that way it doesn't wiggle around on you.
Okay.
And remember to roll that edge over too. The top edge. Remember to roll that top edge. Now here's the point. When you're sanding the one side, you keep sanding, but you roll it on over to the other side. That way it's not a sharp point, it's round it out.
Like that.
When you're, like right here, how it's still pointy. When you're working this side, just move it up and keep sanding, and then roll it over to the other side. That way, instead of being pointy, see how it makes it round? And make sure you get it. Make sure you get rid of my center line mark there. Make sure it ended up being not exactly center. If I was actually making this to give to somebody or sell or something like that, see how it's shallow up here and then it gets deeper right there and then it shallows out again, does the same on the other side. With the actual right tools and everything, you can make it all nice and even and pretty and straight. And I mean, even looking at it right here, you can see this, the line for the blade here isn't straight. It gets up there and just kind of goes. But considering you've done most of the work on this thing, not too bad. And also the fact that, you know, it's also the first sword I've ever made, so.
Yeah.
Alright, let's. Turn that thing where you can actually see me. Or what I'm working on for the whole end here. It's kind of bumpy. That's from the scroll saw too, trying to keep it along with the curve. Since I pretty much had to freehand it. Back of this thing's gonna look like hell, but there ain't really much I can do about it now. Well, y'all died on me, and it didn't record. I mean, I had like a 20-minute long video of us sanding this thing out and carving it on down and cutting the end of the blade, and then it died on me, and it didn't save any of it. But went ahead and got it all carved down. He decided that he wanted this end to be the handle and this end to be the tip. And I know it's me throwing a shadow on my phone and the little tripod here throwing a shadow. But anyway, I just took a little bit of neat's foot oil and covered it all in neat's foot oil after I got my phone back on the charger. And then went inside and ate some dinner, let it dry, come back out here. So it's actually got a nice finish. I'll get some stills up at the end of the video as usual, so y'all can actually see what it looks like in decent lighting instead of out here in the crappy lighting of my shop. But now I'm going to go ahead and get a paracord wrap on the end of this handle down here. I just got to figure out how I'm going to put y'all so y'all can watch me do it. Alright, I think I got it figured out to where we can actually get this thing and y'all can see me actually doing the paracord wrap, which I'm going to end up speeding it all up because this is all just going to be, you know, basically just wrapping a piece of paracord around a piece of wood until I get it down to where I want it to. And so rather boring to just sit there and watch me do this for how long it's actually going to take me. So see if I can't find some music and throw it up there for y'all to listen to while I'm doing this. I'll get you lined up. Alright, I got me a little scratch mark back here. Somewhere right there. Y'all, I know y'all can't see it in the video here. But I got me a little scratch mark, but I'm actually hopefully going up to this point here. So it actually, because it's supposed to be a 2.5 hand grip on these, which means you grab one at the top, one at the bottom, and that's enabled you to actually make a slicing style cut with them. But I'm going to see if 48 feet of white paracord is going to be enough to allow me to wrap all the way up to here, just basic wrapping the handle. I know what I need to do. I'm actually going to take my chainsaw file, make me a small groove on the points here, that way it keeps my bottom piece down here from coming off, because it'll actually give it something to grip onto down there at the bottom. Didn't find my chainsaw file, but I found my regular round file. So by doing that, all I'm doing is just making a little notch down here. If y'all can see that, just notching it out. And I'm gonna do one on this corner and this corner here, so it just gives it something to grab hold of here at the end. Alright, now, as soon as I can find the end of the damn paracord that, of course, I just dropped. Alright. And all that notch is going to really do is just keep it from actually sliding off the end while it's being used. And I just folded it up here on the back side instead of actually gluing it down. And I'm pulling this as tight as I can possibly get it. And I'm also going to go back and push every single one of them down after I get it on there, so it fits all up nice and tight. Is ridiculous, the actual physical exertion you have to do in order to do this. Keep picking that up out of y'all's view, don't I? Okay, there's my scratch mark. Just covered it up. So now, do I want to do a thick wrap right here at the end, and then kind of tie it off and hide it that way, or do I want to finish this? I think I do kind of want to have somewhat of a guard up here, even though I know your traditional kendo sticks don't have them, but since this is an actual traditional stick, actually going to go back to here, loosen up these last 4. So I'm going to hold that as tight as I can get it right there. Just loosen those up. Pull them back up. Take them back around. Feed it up and through. Then, as I'm lining them back up, y'all can't see what the hell I'm doing. As I'm lining them back up, I'm going to pull that tight and pull each one of these strands back around tight to where it actually tightens down back on itself. And it will actually hold itself there pretty well, especially after I cut that off real close and then melt it down on there. I'm just kind of working out some of the looseness. Just grabbing it, running my hand around it real tight. Just kind of work those strings back and around. And, alright. I don't know how much battery y'all have got left. Very sharp knife, very handy. And grab my lighter. Yep, same lighter y'all saw last time. In case you're wondering, I licked my finger before I actually did that. So the steam from the saliva on my finger actually protected my finger from getting burned when I do that. But, got to get a little bit more charge on the phone, and then we'll show you all the finished thing. Alright guys, good finished product. Get over here, I'm going to whack you in the face with this thing when I show it up to these guys. But there it is. All finished up. Handle wrapped in paracord, which y'all just got to see. And made him a little guard up here, just melted it, tied it off to itself back. All the little notches back here, so you actually have little notches back here to keep that from sliding down. So hopefully it won't come off there. If it does, we'll figure out something else. But, alright. Get some still videos up after this, so once again, if you liked what you saw, want to see more of it, want to help, just help me get better, drop your comments down below, hit that like and the share button, subscribe button, there we are, and then other than that, we'll see you next time.